get back to Washington in September. But instead of me standing up here and just telling you about committee work, I'd like to play for you, since we are in this great theater, this beautiful theater here in Rome, and we've got a great big screen. I'll play for you a couple of clips from committees. So I'll go ahead and we'll play the first clip.
Human trafficking is a $150 billion a year industry. In 2021, Georgia had one of the highest number of cases per capita that were reported through trafficking hotlines. The northern area of Atlanta is well known as one of the highest places of human trafficking, human sex trafficking of women and children. Women and girls represent approximately 71% of all trafficking victims globally. More than 90% of detected female victims are trafficked for the purpose of sexual exploitation. Approximately 1/3 of all human trafficking victims are children. This next sentence is hard to even read because it's our country. The United States is one of the top destinations for human trafficking and is among the largest consumers of child sex. The average age of entry into the commercial sex market is 12 years old. In the past few weeks, there's been a lot of controversy about a movie called Sound of Freedom. And I can't understand why anyone would say anything negative about a movie that's trying to expose child sex trafficking, especially when it involves our United States border. Ms. Vaughn, can you tell me, is it a conspiracy theory? Is child sex trafficking a conspiracy theory?
It is most certainly not a conspiracy theory. It occurs far too much. I have met with and helped survivors and heard what they have gone through, and to refer to it as a conspiracy is an insult to what they have endured.
Is our border a serious issue? The fact that our border is open and the amount of people coming across our border, is that contributing to child sex trafficking?
It is most definitely contributing to the problem of not only child sex trafficking, but forced labor and domestic servitude and debt bondages as we discussed today.
Is our current administration's border policies contributing to child sex trafficking?
They are certainly facilitating it, yes, so it's happening with more frequency as a result of these policies and the lack of enforcement, frankly, in the interior of the country as well, that would help rescue some of these survivors and turn them into survivors as opposed to victims.
Those are the real statistics. You know, I grew up thinking that in America we were the good guys. And I'm sure you believe that as well. But when you hear those statistics and you find out that our country is number one when it comes to child sex trafficking, it really is shocking, isn't it? And the current administration, I'm sorry, the Biden regime, because that's what they are. They're a communist party. They are not an American party. They are facilitating this. And you heard her. Our witnesses that we bring before the committee, they are vetted. They are professionals. They are the top in their industries. And when they sit before the committee, they take an oath. Ms. Vaughn took an oath, and you heard her exactly what she said. This administration is facilitating it. But this is the type of work that we're doing on our committees. I'll show you another video right now from Homeland Security, and this was talking to Secretary Mayorkas.
And now there are over 300 Americans a day dying every single day, without fail, every single day because of fentanyl, deadly fentanyl, which is the #1 cause of death in young people between ages 18 and 45. Now we have rainbow fentanyl, which even NBC News was acknowledging that the cartels were bringing across our border, and it comes from China. This rainbow fentanyl looks like Sweet Tarts or Skittles, clearly made to target America's school children. It's 50 times more potent than heroin, 100 times more potent than morphine. And now, under your tenure, Secretary Mayorkas, schools all over America have to have Narcan to save children that overdose on this deadly poison. Let me explain something to you. I'm not from Texas. I'm not from any border state. I represent a district in Georgia, which is in northwest Georgia. We're not anywhere near Mexico. We're not anywhere near the ocean. But in my district, people die nearly every single day from fentanyl. And I want to know from you, how many more people do we have to watch die every single day in America? How many more young people do we have to see die? How many more teenagers? How many more parents cry themselves to sleep at night, if they can even sleep, because a child overdosed on fentanyl? How long are you going to continue this outrage, complete outrage, where China is poisoning America's children, poisoning our teenagers, poisoning our young people? How long are you going to let this go on?
Congresswoman, let me assure you that we're not letting it go on. We are
You are letting this go on. The numbers prove it. You can't lie about the facts, Secretary Mayorkas. While you live in denial and sit over there with this attitude that you're doing everything right, you are killing Americans with your policies. And that is a fact. Your policies are killing people, over 300 Americans a day. Over 300, and it's outrageous. Let me ask you another question. We talk about tyranny.
I assure you, Congresswoman, we are not allowing that to happen. That is a lie. That's a lie. Can you imagine that man sits before our committee and lies to us like that? Lies to you all like that?
He's a joke.
He is a joke. And I tell you what else is a joke. The fact that we have not impeached him yet. That is a joke. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And that's my frustration on the job. I assure you, that's my frustration on the job. So when everyone asks me, Marjorie, why hasn't this happened yet? I'm like, oh, I'm there. I'm a yes vote. We just only have 222 Republicans in Congress. It takes 218 to pass anything, and we don't have enough with courage to get it done. And that's a problem. It's a problem. But that man right there does not deserve that job. He does not deserve the taxpayer-funded paycheck that he has. And no American family deserves to have a family member murdered by Chinese fentanyl. And that's what we should be doing to fix it. So I assure you I'll be going back to carry that. The last video I have for you is from the Oversight Committee. Oh, by the way, let me tell you one more thing about that last video. They tried to strike down my words. That's where it ended. They were like interrupting me. They tried to strike down my words. Democrats were offended with my words. They're not offended with 300 people dying every single day from fentanyl. No, they're offended that Marjorie Taylor Greene dared to call them out. That's the issue that we have up there. The next video is on the Oversight Committee. And I'll go ahead and say parental discretion advised, but this was where I was tasked with bringing up the evidence that we on the Oversight Committee actually have that Hunter Biden hired prostitutes, then he paid these prostitutes through his law firm, and then he wrote it off on his taxes. And you know, he's the president's son, so clearly he gets much different treatment than you all do when it comes to your taxes. I mean, I can imagine, yeah, you all would be in jail if you did what he did. So this was and it seems to be, you have to show people pictures up there, you know, they're at that level of learning sometimes, especially the Democrats. I have AOC on my committee, so, you know, it's better to message in pictures for her. And a few other real bright ones. So this has got some pictures, so we'll go ahead and watch this video.
I would like to present this to the committee. This is showing Hunter Biden paying for a Victims United flight from LA to Dulles. This was I believe this is a violation of the Mann Act. This is Hunter Biden's, this is his proof that he bought the ticket. He bought it for this woman right here. He flew her from Los Angeles to Washington on June 14th, flew her back to Los Angeles, California on June 15th of 2018. And I would like to point out that if he was purchasing her a plane ticket for sex and traveling across state lines, do you believe that would be a violation of the Mann Act, Mr. Ziegler?
So I can talk to specifically what's in my transcript regarding the Mann Act. So I know we were compiling the information together.
Yes, but Mr. Ziegler, as the law states, by the code of the law states, traveling, paying someone to go across state lines is prostitution. It's a violation of the Mann Act.
You're paralegal prostitutes.
Hang on, I think we're having technical difficulties. The Biden regime doesn't like me showing you this video.
Los Angeles, California on June. Point out that if he was purchasing her a plane ticket.
We'll just say it again.
Traveling across state lines.
Sex trafficking.
That would be a violation of the Mann Act, Mr. Ziegler.
So I can talk to specifically what's in my transcript regarding the Mann Act. So I know we were compiling the information together.
Yes, but Mr. Ziegler, as the law states, by the code of the law states, traveling, paying someone to go across state lines is prostitution. It's a violation of the Mann Act.
All right, I think we got an issue. I don't know. I'll finish up and explain see if they can get the video back on. So I pointed out very clearly proof, actual proof, the same type of proof that would be shown in a court of law that Hunter Biden, the son of the current president of the United States, engaged in sex trafficking, paying women and paying for them to travel across state lines. That's a violation of the Mann Act. These are victims. These women are victims. He didn't do it with just one. He did it with many. But I actually had to show that proof. Here we have proof. The man that I was interviewing, very brave. He's an IRS whistleblower. He's not a Republican. He's a Democrat. He told us in his testimony, I'm a Democrat, I'm a gay man, proudly married to another gay man. That's how he introduced himself. He said, I'm a proud Democrat. I vote Democrat. I'm being attacked, he said, by many Democrats because I'm telling the truth. So he's a whistleblower. And the Democrats are very angry with him for telling the truth. Here's what happened. He and his colleague were investigating. They were investigating an amateur porn site. And they stumbled across Hunter Biden. They didn't stumble across him watching amateur porn. They stumbled across his account where he was uploading his own porn. That's where they found him. That started in 2018. So they began investigating. They found a lot. They also found out, they read a lot of the same SARS reports, suspicious activity reports that we read in the Treasury. By the way, thousands of pages of them. And they found a lot of the same information we found, that Hunter Biden had in fact been paying these prostitutes. And he was paying them through his law firm. And then because they're the IRS, they knew that he was writing them off on his taxes. But they even had more information. He wasn't even paying all his taxes. As a matter of fact, he didn't pay millions of dollars in taxes, and he should be in jail if we had equal justice under the law. But we don't have equal justice under the law here in the United States of America. So this oversight hearing was explosive. I also showed more pictures and proof of what Hunter Biden had been doing. And let me tell you who was outraged and at what. They weren't outraged. The Democrats on the committee and the media were not outraged at the information and proof that I had shown. They were outraged that I showed these pictures of Hunter Biden. Well, here's the problem, everyone. He's the one that put them on the internet. So why am I to blame? But they were upset with me. Oh, that Marjorie Taylor Greene. How dare she? But they are hypocrites. Absolute hypocrites. But you know what? They're all about get Trump, get Trump. So this is some of the examples that I like to show from our committee hearings because it exposes the type of work that we're really trying to do. And I really want you to know how hard I'm working for you and how much I cannot wait to have a Republican-controlled White House with my favorite president, President Trump, by the way.